to crack down on money laundering. Congresswoman Marge Rockema has drafted a bill to impose stricter penalties on cash smugglers. Zachary Fink has more.
Rockema has introduced a measure that would make it illegal for individuals to smuggle currency in and out of the United States. The bill, known as the Bulk Cash Smuggling Act, would impose criminal penalties for people caught with $10,000 or more.
It has to make it a crime to have large sums of cash with significant penalties. We have five-year mandatory sentences, so to speak, in this legislation.
At the hearing, law enforcement officials from local, state, and federal agencies testified that large sums of cash are almost always a sign of illegal activity. But without specific laws on the books, officials say very often their hands are tied when it comes to prosecuting.
What we're faced with now is the fact that we stop these people. They have $500,000 in the trunk of their car. You've seen the videos that show all these things. And we really can't do much about it except just seize the cash, smack them on the hand, and let them go.
Legitimate businesses don't handle bags and bags and bags of cash and look to...
Undercover with the Cali drug cartel, now he protects us.
Protecting Passaic County is more than a job to me, because my family lives here too.
Protecting Passaic County.
We created Passaic County's first crime lab. Now if a criminal even leaves a single hair behind, we've got him.
Using the latest technologies and good police work, crime is down 25%, making us safer. Jerry Speziale, our sheriff.
Making us safer and saving us money. That's our sheriff, Jerry Speziale. Reduced a $3 million department budget deficit. Increased revenues $10 million since taking office. Used confiscated money from drug dealers to buy new law enforcement equipment at no cost to taxpayers. Created an internet crime unit to prevent sexual predators from preying on our children. Created Passaic County's first crime lab. Making us safer, saving us money. Our sheriff, Jerry Speziale.
For him, he takes News 12 New Jersey on a walking tour to show us his plans for the future. Good evening, I'm Tom Layson.
And I'm Janine Strafossi in for Della Cruz. Officers write reports on old word processors, and there's no voicemail.
These are just some of the examples of how the Passaic County Sheriff's Department has operated recently. But new Sheriff Jerry Speziale is making sweeping changes, including layoffs. He reveals his plans to News 12 New Jersey's Sherry Hensley.
They're so cramped in here, we're moving them around. I mean, we're going to move our whole facility is going to change.
He's the first Democrat to occupy the Passaic County Sheriff's Office in almost half a century. On his second official day on the job, Jerry Speziale has already got the ball rolling on some sweeping changes in the 700-member department. First and foremost is to bring the department into the 21st century, getting rid of typewriters and word processors used to write reports.
Everything is paper. Nothing's computerized.
Just 2 days after he won the election, Speziale and his transition team rolled up their sleeves and got to work addressing several key issues. During our walking tour of the jail, he showed us the need for a new system to keep track of inmates. Currently, officers use pieces of paper and attach them to what's called the pegboard.
This here guy's in court, okay? Now, if this piece of paper, for whatever reason, falls off and goes down, who knows where he is? You know, it's ridiculous. You have no system. It's got to be changed, and it's got to be changed quick.
The most immediate change in the department has to do with personnel. The sheriff says as a result of the county's budget shortfall, he has no choice but to trim his staff. As a result, 26 people are being laid off. Some people contend Speziale fired those who supported his opponent. The sheriff disputes that.
When you let people go, everybody's not going to be happy. But I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to run a police agency.
When the dust settles, the sheriff says his goal is to boost morale, something that's been lacking in the department for some time. In Passaic County, Sherry Hensley, News 12, New Jersey.
And before he became sheriff, Jerry Speziale's...
Okay, so mothers, if you're concerned about table talk at dinner time, look what we have. You know, I love this little photo of you. You're saying 8 years old, but the first photo in your book, I believe you're age 5.
U.S. Customs agents nab a man who allegedly provided fake IDs to 2 of the September 11th hijackers. He eluded investigators last month after slipping away to Egypt. But the feds caught up with him yesterday at New York's JFK Airport. Fox's Todd Connor is live outside the Passaic County Jail in Paterson, New Jersey, with more on that case. Todd?
Hi there, John. Well, 45-year-old Mohammed El Atrice is charged with selling hundreds of fake IDs and at this moment is sitting in the Passaic County Jail awaiting a bail hearing on Friday. Now, police say that some of those documents went to two of the hijackers, the September 11th hijackers. One that was on a plane that hit the World Trade Center, and the other was on a plane that hit the Pentagon. Now, El Atrice was arrested at New York's JFK Airport yesterday morning on his way back from Egypt, and he wasn't talking when he was brought in handcuffs. El Atrice, who is a naturalized U.S. citizen from Egypt, knew before he returned to the States that there was a warrant out for his arrest. But what's not known at this time for sure is whether he flew to Egypt to avoid being caught. Now, his timing is suspect because investigators say he left town just hours before they raided his home and businesses on July 31st. They carted away boxes of documents. The Passaic County Sheriff's Department says he sold hundreds of fake driver's licenses, ID cards, auto titles, even auto license plates. The FBI is also investigating El Atrice and said he told them after 9/11 that he had sold a phony ID to one of the hijackers. They are still trying to determine at this time whether he knew of the hijackers' plans, and right now, no federal charges have been filed. They also want to know why he wired about $30,000 to a Saudi Arabian bank account earlier this year. Meanwhile, authorities
County Jail inmates were forced to evacuate the prison just after 3 o'clock this afternoon when the fire broke out. The fire was under control 2 hours later. 4 sheriff's officers and
Investigators say Little Ferry Councilman and Police Commissioner Frank Mudry didn't have a clue. It turns out he was reaching out to the long arm of the law and not a 14-year-old girl on his home computer.
We had 2 different undercovers that were in chat rooms, and the defendant in this case began to send instant messages to the one undercover.
Passaic County Sheriff's deputies arrested the 39-year-old at his Little Ferry home this morning and charged him with luring a minor, attempted sexual contact, and endangering the welfare of a child.
Anytime someone in public office attempts to take advantage of a child, it's alarming.
But among his neighbors, Frank Mudry is known as a happily married family man.
He's been friendly, outgoing. Never would suspect.
Mr. Speziale is currently the sheriff of Passaic County, New Jersey, and he joins us now. You know, that Cali cartel, I mean, they'll cut your head off without blinking.
Absolutely.
You know, and not only your head, but your family and everybody else. I mean, those are the most brutal people.
Cop Bernard Carrick said our next guest is probably the most successful drug agent in America. And by the way, Bernard Carrick is now going out to Iraq to give them some Baghdad justice.
Certainly, and we'll have more on that a little later. But right now we're talking about Jerry Speziale. He is also one of the nation's leading experts to root out drugs and terror. He's written a book about his experiences. It's called Without a Badge, Undercover in the World's Deadliest Criminal Organization. He joins us right now in the studio. It's so good to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
What happened was you ended up infiltrating the Colombian drug cartel.
Yes.
And acting as if you were a drug lord.
Basically what I did is I acted as a transporter. I was like the FedEx for their organization. I would move their drugs from South and Central America and move it here to New York or somewhere domestically.
And then New York Police Department.
Correct. I retired from New York City PD.
And we'll be working the next couple of days with local federal agents to talk about the new technology and other methods in this battle against terrorism, correct?
Correct.
So you came really from anti-drug to anti-terrorism. How are they related, those things?
Well, you know, it's all the same, because the way we go after any criminal organization.
Welcome to Garden State Matters. I'm Brenda Flanagan. After the terrorist attacks on September 11th,